my name is Nicholas with Affinity Restoration. We're here at 45 West 85th, or I'm sorry, 45 West 55th Place in Westmont, Illinois. We're in Jocelyn, Granada. Now what we're going to do today is we're going to do a repairability test to see if we can actually repair 100 shingles off this roof. Our biggest concern is obviously not damaging the shingles above it or the shingles below it as we basically remove one shingle. Now today we're going to be using required tools, roofing stake, so we're not going to use a pry bar to basically lift the shingle. It'll allow us to basically minimize any form of additional damage or creasing. So a roofing snake, a small hammer, just because we find that it's a lot easier to use a small hammer than those bigger hammers that basically will require us to lift the shingle any more than needed, any more than necessary. And of course our handy dandy spatula or blade to open up the shingles. Okay, so in this situation, what we're going to be working with is this area right here because of this one shingle that's bad. So removing the shingle, we will what we need to do basically is open up the seals above and of course open up the seals below it, okay, in order to remove this. So the goal is to remove the shingle without having to damage or compromise the shingle above or below. And of course in this situation, I think that the allotted amount is 100. We'll do a recount just to see if it is 100 shingles that needs to be addressed. So first things first, obviously the shingles is loose enough that we can actually get to it. The above shingles, we'll just open them up. Okay, we need to find where the shingle ends. So we know that it's a 3 tab, so it's, you know, three of these tabs in order to find it. So it looks like this shingle is actually ends right here. So we're gonna go a little bit past this. So I didn't actually look at that where it was. So it's gonna have this shingle takes this, and this all the way up to here. And of course, this is the shingle that we're gonna try to replace it with. The closest match that we can find, clearly it's this roofing is a discontinued shingle. This is the closest shingle that we can find. Whites are discontinued except for, I think there's only one manufacturer that makes it, and inventory is very low. We were lucky enough to find one bundle of this at the warehouse. So let's open these up. Okay. Okay. All right. So that should terminate right here, which it does. Okay. So we'll just open this up so that we can take them apart. So technically this one shingle touches 4 of the tabs above it. So we need to make sure that we can get to them. There you go. And here's some of the problems that we're already encountering. As I open up the top shingle, notice that it's eating away into the nail strip because that's the adhesive, it's eating away into it. Here, notice that? That's the adhesive, it's eating away into it. It's eating away into it. So now that we're eating into this shingle, which is perfectly fine because this is coming out. But I'm assuming that that's what's going to happen when we lift these guys off the bottom shingle, and if it eats away into the nail strip, that compromises the shingle. But we don't know. We'll double check. So we'll go right here. As you can see, it's already eating away into it. Okay, eating away into it. So eating away into it. So we could literally add additional adhesive roofing cement to it, but obviously that compromises this shingle. Okay, and we'll discuss that a little bit later as far as the effects of that. So in the meantime, we're gonna have to remove this. There are 2 sets of nails that's attaching this shingle onto the roof. Number 1 is the set of nails that's on the nail strip. Okay, and then of course there's a top nail. That top nail is actually on the shingle above it. As you can see here, this nail is on the top side of this shingle that we're trying to remove. So technically, in order to remove this, we have to get this nail out and this nail out in order to pull the shingle out. Okay, now next step is actually start taking them off. So our goal is to remove the shingle without damaging anything else above it. So we're just going to lift this up a little bit without trying to crease it. So as you can see, as I lift this up, here's the big problem. It's actually, that nail is driven down deep enough that it's actually ripping the shingle below it, or the shingle that we're trying to remove. But it's okay because obviously it's coming out and it's ripping it. So our goal now is to make sure that these nails are still in good condition, that we can still use it. The second one. Yep, it's ripping it out now. So these holes are what you call blow-throughs. Now the nail is underneath it. We're gonna get the nail out, but it's creating these holes. So I'm assuming that when we take out this shingle, that's probably what's gonna happen here. But remember, this set of shingle above it is staying. It's not, you know, we're not replacing the shingle, but if it creates this blow-through on this shingle, now this shingle is compromised because that's on the nail strip. And with the nail strip being compromised with additional punctures and holes, obviously it lessens the ability of that shingle to remain on the roof at high winds. So let's just go ahead and remove the rest of the nails. Yep, it's doing it again. Basically a blow through that's allowing it to tear off of the roof. This one's coming out pretty decent. Okay, I got it. So there you go, the nails, we got the nails. Okay, good. So now the first set of nails are off. Now we got to take out the ones at the top side, and that basically will require these nails to come off as carefully as possible to see. So in order to do that, we have to open this up. So once again, as you can see, to get to this nail that's holding this down, it's tearing up the nail strip. Again, compromised shingle here. Another one. I mean, the blade is cutting it, but it's ripping out the nail strip. That one's already ripped out in the nail strip there. So we gotta take this shingle, or we gotta take this nail, and this nail to finally release this shingle here. So let's take a look. Come on, the nail's gotta come out. It's, nope, it's blowing through. So now we got the shingle, but as you can see, there's a blow through right there. And the nail is still there, but now we can actually remove it. As you can see, it's touching this shingle right here. We can officially remove it. There you go, there's one. Here, again, trying to get underneath the nail, but it's overdriven a little bit, but it's literally tearing the shingle nail head or strip. So remember, this shingle is supposed to stay. This is not a damaged shingle, but now it is because it's got a blow through on it. There's no way that we can reseal that. Obviously, any additional punctures or breakage on the shingle allows moisture and water to pass through it, or because the nail strip is ripping out, it's weakened this shingle. So here's the last one. They're all blowing through. They're all blow through. You can see there the puncture, but now that we've got this nail out, we gotta get it all the way out. Where is it? Okay, the nail's out. Okay, that nail's out. This nail's out. The middle one is here out. The last one is out. Actually, we have to do this one too. It's on this side right here, because it's still touching it. Okay, so it's blowing through on every single one. So we got this, and then here we got that. What else? Oh, nope, there we go. So now, yes, we were able to remove the one damaged shingle, but here's the problem. By removing the shingle, there's the blow through, 3 blow throughs on the nail strip. And then of course, by taking these shingles loose, it ate through the nail strip. So now, this entire shingle is damaged, right? But also, remember, this next shingle that way touches this one that we removed. And as you can see, there's a blow through there. So now, this entire shingle is damaged as well. On the bottom, nothing so bad except for, yes, we will put a new shingle here, but as you can see right here, it ate through the shingle in the bottom. So technically, this entire shingle here is damaged as well. Okay, so in order to basically remove one shingle, as a result, we ended up damaging the bottom shingle because of the nail strip weakening, and we damaged 2 shingles above it. The one shingle here, this way, and this one shingle, but this shingle is connected to these 3 tabs. So we damaged one here, one here, one here. A total of 3 shingles were damaged to replace one shingle in the middle. Okay, so but nevertheless, we're gonna put this back in, okay? And the best thing we can do is try to put some form of additional adhesive on this to allow it to basically be covered, but it's still not going to be appropriate just because, oh, here's one, it's out. Now, here's the tricky part. We have to hammer this in, all right? Getting a nail gun in there is probably not wise because it will damage the shingle and crease it more. But nevertheless, we still have to pick these up. We have to pick them up, and our goal is to pick them up without having to crease them, but never, you know, it doesn't really matter. This is already damaged, but we still want to minimize the damages. So here we go. We're gonna nail them in. We're gonna basically kind of even them out, make sure that it looks decent. There you go. First nail. I'm gonna put it right on the nail strip. So me lifting this up, basically I have to lift this up to get the hammer in here. So not bad. All right. Let's go do the edge. Make sure that we got everything all in there. Gotta line it up at least to make sure that it's somewhat kind of even. There you go. All right, nail here. Okay. A few more nails. This one was only held by 3 nails on the nail strip, which is not ideal. We normally want to put at least 4 minimum to 5 nails on each of these shingles on the nail strip just because of high winds. This is the state of Illinois. We get a lot of high winds coming through here. But we got 4 nails now on the nail strip. But here's the tricky part now. We got to get nails on top of this shingle, which is basically accessible from the next shingle up. So we've got 2 choices. We can either put it through the blow through, which is not ideal because that's already a blow through, which if I put a nail right onto that blow through, there's a good chance that this nail will go underneath it as well. So we have no choice but to actually put it somewhere near it. So right here on the nail strip. Same thing with this. Put it somewhere by the nail strip. Next to it. And this one's a really big blow through, so we're gonna basically go a little bit further to the side of it. Alright, so now with those 2 sets of nails that we put in, we got nails in the nail strip here. Then we got the nails in the nail strip here, so the easiest solution would be to cover up these punctures. And the best way that we could do that is roofing cement, but the amount of labor associated to that is not conducive to getting the roof repaired. But also, as you notice, we use a small hammer, but even with a small hammer, because we're lifting this, you start to see a crease developing up top. You start to see a crease developing up top. Here, not so much, but you can see that they're starting to crease up here because we needed to lift them in order to get the hammer down. And same thing with this. This one's a lot, you know, safer just because we didn't have to lift them so much. Okay, so the bottom line is, yes, we can actually get it replaced, but in the process of replacing this one bad shingle, we damaged the shingle above it through the nail strip and the eating away of the nail strip. But since this shingle is also attached to this, we ended up damaging the next shingle this way because of the nail strip. And of course, we damaged it down this way because when we lifted this out, it ate away into the nail strip. Okay, so by replacing one shingle, there are 3 damaged additional shingles down. If you do the math on that, if I'm gonna safely assume that if we replace this shingle and this shingle, the same effect will happen here. The same effect will happen here. So replacing 100 shingles off of this roof is not conducive, or we will just be chasing ourselves throughout the entire roofing repair. That the easiest way to resolve this is to strip the entire roof out, obviously put the new roofing in, but also one big thing is the original color obviously is not matching. This is the closest white shingle that we can get. Unfortunately, the warehouses are not stocking the white shingles. There is a back order on it that they can still make it. I believe right now the delivery estimated date today is July 22nd. I believe that the manufacturers are taking orders in, but they have no definitive delivery except for towards the end of August, early September, and that's a little bit too much of a wait time, and it's not guaranteed that it will come in into stock. So as you can see, big difference in the color a lot of the colors here is the original color of it, which is right here on the ridges. You can see that there's a big difference in color change. So from here you can see the big difference in color, and it's not gonna line up if we put 100 of those shingles in, but more than likely the damages that it will do around one damaged area will result into 300 shingles being repaired, even more, because we're gonna be chasing ourselves throughout the entire process. So once again, we'll submit this video for repairability. Obviously it failed repairability. If you have any questions, please call our office. Again, my name is Armand Nicholas. This repairability is for 45 West 55th Place in Westmont, Illinois. Thank you, and call us if you have any questions. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Affinity Restoration's roofing project out here in Westmont. We did a house here, I think about 2 weeks ago. That house right there. Where is it? That one. It's beautiful, by the way. Yep. And as we completed that house, another homeowner across the street wanted to do the same for their home, to beautify it. So we're here to basically see the other half of the project. I wish that we were able to do this on a removal earlier, trying to see if how they do it in the beginning as far as the projects go in regards to the tear off. But it's a pretty self-explanatory tear off. They basically just stripped it down at 7 o'clock and was able to get it completed, almost done by 9 o'clock. And right now it's just after 11:30 and they're already shingling. So these guys work really, really fast. So that's what Affinity does, is basically moves fast and of course installs it right and nice and pretty. So we're gonna go up there and take a look at some of the shingles. This particular shingle is an Owens Corning duration shingle. It's got the nail strip technology on it. And of course, we don't ever put paper on any roof. So it's got synthetic underlayment just to make sure that the water proofing of the house is to its top quality. So let's take a look on top of the roof and see how the guys are doing on it. So as you can see, everybody basically is rocking and rolling. That's our foreman right there, Manny Bustos, rocking it with red on red. So he's making sure that all of the roofs are built exactly the way that it's supposed to be. Top quality for the homeowners. There's the homeowner waving at us. She's waving, she's happy. Making sure everything looks good. So we're gonna go up here carefully. We got everything going. So as you can see, they already have the gutter apron on, and that's a beautiful shingle. That's Colonial Slate. It's one of my favorite shingles there is because it looks really nice and very, very elegant. So as you can see, it's got synthetic underlayment, ice and water, 2 lines of it. State code says that the ice and water has to make it through 24 inches past the inside wall. So we have to basically put 2 layers of ice and water to make sure that we have that code requirement. As you can see right there, ice and water. And then of course we don't do that jerry rigging like a lot of contractors out there do. They basically will try to take a shingle, they'll take a shingle and then flip it upside down and make a starter strip of some sort over here. Well, that doesn't make any sense because obviously a starter strip requires this adhesive here. So we actually spend that little extra money and buy an actual starter strip to make sure that the very eave shingles have something to adhere to. So that's actually an additional cost that we don't let the homeowner bear just because I don't want to be called out here because the shingles are flying out or anything like that. We want to do it basically right from the start to make sure that everything looks good. Okay, so let's flip this over so that you guys can see some of the crew members that are working on this roof itself. Okay. See. So there it is again. We've got some vent holes here, got a lot of these things over here. And here's what's kind of cool. So you see a lot of homes, like for example, that one right there. You know, they sometimes jerry rig the hip and ridge. They basically eyeball it. Well, that's why a lot of roofs you'll see their hip and ridge are not very straight. Okay, so look at that garage. As you notice that hip and ridge is not straight just because somebody eyeballed it or somebody doesn't know how to draw a straight line. Well, we don't do that here at Affinity Restoration. Everything looks nice and pretty. So what we do is actually once the hip and ridge goes on, they'll actually, or once the edges are on, they'll actually trim a line right here. And then they're gonna do a snap a line. They're gonna snap a line that gives them a nice straight line so that when they put the hip and ridge, which you'll see later once it's completed, what they'll do is follow that line and gives them the ability to have a nice, pretty straight line. So why do something if you're not gonna do it right or to the best of your abilities, right? So obviously, you got a power line right here. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna basically flash that. So a lot of people will actually just take a rubber boot, cut it to pieces, and put a flashing around that, which, you know, it could work, but again, we don't cut corners here at Affinity. We actually use a split boot system to ensure that it was built for that purpose and that purpose alone, to make sure that it's completely sealed and nice and protected. So you've got that. Chimney flashing obviously is going to get ripped out and replaced so that it looks nice and pretty with new sealants on it. Chimney looks okay. It doesn't need tuck pointing or anything like that. The top part over here looks okay, but it's going to get replaced as well to make sure that everything is brand new. But again, if you take a look at this shingle, and this is a gorgeous shingle. So I think the homeowner did really, really well by choosing the appropriate shingles. We're also going to be putting gutters, new gutters on this, okay? We got the gutters approved. So we took down the old gutters already. We'll take down the downspout here probably sometime during the day so that we can get everything squared off. And gutters are probably going to go in tomorrow, if not 2 days from now. The good news is it's not looking like it's going to rain or anything, so I think we're okay. So here's the Affinity crew doing their magic with this roof. All in red, baby. Red, white, and blue. All the way through and through. Here's Jonathan. Jonathan, one of the superstars of Affinity. This guy's always here. This guy's always here. Always supporting us. Loves wearing that red and white shirt. So we got that. A little too big of a dump trailer today for a 25 or 26 square roof. But we've got a few houses in this area that got approvals, and we're hoping that we can get more and more of these homeowners that we can help them restore their home. So we'll be back a little bit later this afternoon to see the final product of this particular roof, and then they're going to be tackling that garage. So when we basically help a homeowner out to restore their home, we don't just restore their home, we restore anything that basically applies to their policy, which in most cases, if they have a detached garage or a shed or anything like that, we ensure and make sure that the shed and the garage, the detached garage, are taken care of as well. You know, it doesn't make sense to kind of replace just the dwelling roof or the main house roof. We want to make sure that anything attached to it is all taken care of to make sure that, you know, everything is the same. You know, it's kind of weird to have a brand new roof in your house and then your garage still has the old roof like that. So later this afternoon, they're going to be doing that. So they're moving pretty quick here. This slope is almost done. This one, they're going to get started on. We've got 4 guns going right now. And once these guns are gone or going, they're pretty quick. You notice that we use these slant back box vents. Slant back box vents, they're very, very durable. They're a lot harder than the normal mushroom vents, like that one that you see on that house. Those are mushroom vents. They're kind of flimsy. A little hail pebble will probably dent them. These are a lot sturdier and stronger. So they put them on, they flash it around it to make sure that no water makes it through these vent holes and things like that. Okay, so other than that, everything looks good. So we'll be back up here as they complete this, and then we'll come back to do the garage. So I think this is going to look really nice and really gorgeous. Can't wait to see the finished product. So, but that's the house that we did 2 weeks ago, and that house looks phenomenal. The siding color plus the shingle color in that house basically blends really well together. That is what you call Duration Designer Series Summer Harvest. That's not to say that the Owens Corning Duration Colonial Slate is anything less. Absolutely, this should be in the designer color palette actually, because look at it, it's a gorgeous color. But there's a designer series for a reason, just because they are a little bit more of a one-off type of a shingle, and they look gorgeous on any roof. So, anyways, here's the old gutters. We rip them out, get them all basically taken care of, so the homeowner gets a brand new roof, gets brand new gutters, and hopefully she lets us put some gutter guards on them to prevent any leaf accumulation on the gutters itself. So we'll check in a little bit later, and we'll see you then.